Hello, this is a loot guide to dead zones in the new Rio de Janeiro map. Rio has dead zone in two regions. The bigger one is at the top right corner of the map. It is around the size of dead zone on Russia. The smaller one is at the bottom and spawns around the coalition ship, which is called NDM Pernambuco. NDM stands for Navio de Marina, which in Portuguese means navy ship. Pernambuco is a state in northeastern Brazil. Brazilian navy vessels are often named after Brazilian states. The navy loot table consists of 31 items. Among them are 4 guns, ammunition, and some tools like compass, GPS, and binoculars. Then there is Coalition High loot table, which contains 50 items. There are 6 different guns in it, including high caliber sniper, which is Grizzly. Another loot table is Coalition Low, which is a low tier version of Coalition loot. Military Meat has over 60 items. It contains some useful attachments such as sights, scopes, grips, and medium suppressor, which can be applied to most rifles. Finally, the best loot table that can be found on NDM Pernambuco is Special High. It contains items such as grenades, night vision, 6 really good guns, ghillie clothes, vests, artillery shells, detonator, and even sentries. Now I will show you the exact spawn points of items and zombies that use these loot tables. You can see there are a lot of Navy, Coalition High, and Military Meat spawn points, but also a fair number of Special High spawns. When it comes to zombies, it is very similar, but there aren't any zombies that drop the best Special High items. Remember to check the tower, and gun crates near the tanks, but most important is the storage room. Let's move on to the main dead zone. Santos Joint is a fictional location. It served as a headquarters for BRDI, Biological Research and Development Institute. It uses some loot tables not mentioned earlier. Most common one is BRDI, which is a loot of scientists. It contains clothes, medicals, and the most important, biohazard gas mask. Then there is also BRDI security loot table, and it consists of clothes, walkie-talkie, pistol, and baton. Finally, I think it is also worth mentioning construction loot table, because it's pretty common in this dead zone. As you can see, the most common is BRDI loot, then construction, and then I think BRDI security. This is what zombie spawn points look like. Back to the item spawn points, on the entry to dead zone you will most likely find construction items. In the buildings, civilian loot like clothes and food. In the labs, mostly BRDI. And in tents, military meat. Even in gun crates you won't find better loot. Near Santos Joints there is a military checkpoint. The zombies are civilian and military. There is one Special High spawn point in the crate. Another unmarked location is a small town up the hill. It has 2 tables that weren't mentioned earlier. The first one is Ranger High, which contains some really cool guns like Zubeknakov, Nikarev, and RPG. There's Steely Willy, Socket Wrench, and Smartphone, which can work as walkie-talkie, but also enables GPS, chart, and compass. The second new loot table here is Special Low. So as you can see, the most common is Ranger High loot. The other colors are mostly some civilian items. When it comes to zombies, it is very similar to items. Back to item spawn points, the red houses and red crates contain Ranger High loot. There are a few military spawn points around vehicles and 4 Special Low spawn points around this tent. That is it for this video. We covered all dead zones on the surface, but there is also an underground dead zone. If you want to see a loot guide about it, like this one, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.